Hi everyone. A very good evening to everyone over here. If you're audible and if you're visible, quickly type a yes in the chat box so we know that we're audible and visible.
Great. We're already
I'm
seeing a
waiting
lot
for
of
the
people coming in. Yes. Okay. We're getting the
yes,
guesses in now.
yes, we're audible and yes, we're visible. Okay. So today we have with us Miss Chelsea Elliott. She is the Director of Corporate Relations for the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science at Queen's University. She's an electrical engineer with 20 years of experience managing innovative development projects and leading engineering teams. She has instructed engineering students in design thinking, project management, and professional communication. She led development of the Queen's Experiential Learning Hub and managed the Queen's University Internship Program admin team. She has worked in Canada, the US, and Scandinavia in both engineering industry and academia. Her interdisciplinary background combined with a passion for developing people and partnerships has led her to her current role in developing strategy to support student professional growth and connect employers in all industries with Queen's engineering and applied science students. We welcome you, Miss Chelsea. We
Hello,
also
it's
have
a
Miss Deep. Please, yes. We also have Ms. Deepa from Queen's University, who will be taking all your queries on the chat itself. We have with us Ms. Nilanjana. She is the Senior Recruitment Advisor for Trinity College Dublin, the University of Dublin, and is based in New Delhi. She, uh, she is armed with over a decade of experience in the international higher education sector. She spent 9 years with London Metropolitan University, Liaison Office India, where she joined as an office manager and worked her way up to the position of Regional Director India in Nepal. Thereafter, she worked with Chopra Consultants as DGM Strategic Alliances and Partnerships. She holds a professional diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK and a bachelor degree from Delhi University. We welcome you, ma'am. We also have with us our very own career coach, Ms. Shilpa Singh. So she is a career coach with a flair for humor and storytelling. Shilpa is an instant hit amongst hundreds of students she passionately delivers career workshops to. Packing over 22 years of incredible work experience in career guidance, life coaching, HR management, and teacher training, Shilpa brings a holistic purview of the entire education and skill building spectrum, from schools to organizations. Her youthful energy and bubbling enthusiasm is highly infectious and makes learning a fun endeavor. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Swati.
I am Yes. I am Swati Agarwal. I work with Mindler as a career coach and as an aptitude building specialist. So today's webinar will be about engineering and different specializations within engineering. Let's start with Shilpa ma'am. Ma'am, can you take us through the presentation?
Certainly. Thank you so much. Welcome to both our guests. I'm very happy to see both of you. And I'm hoping to be able to get a lot of really great questions out to you. I know that students at this stage are really wanting to be able to find out new avenues of where they can study and what the opportunities going forward are. Engineering as such anyway is a very diverse and very exciting field. Of course, it has the core areas that we all know about, which is the mechanical, electronics and electrical. We've got elements related to chemical. We've got civil engineering, and I think from the basis of these engineerings, there are just so many different areas that then come out now. And I think more and more what we need to remember is that engineering is really going to have this all-pervasive permeation into a lot of other areas, and there's just going to be so much more multidisciplinary and cross-disciplinary work that's going to happen. For the Indian students who study within India, it's important for you to remember that Of course, and as you will if you go abroad as well, and of course our panelists will be able to explain that in much greater depth to you, is the fact that we are going to be able to look at certain prerequisites of subject requirements that come in. Those elements are obviously aspects that we need to focus on, and all colleges who look at engineering courses and offer those definitely have a requirement for physics, chemistry, or physics and mathematics for sure. In India, we of course have the requirement of physics, chemistry, and mathematics as requirements to be able to study this. I wanted to be able to just take you through an overview and talk about the specializations that are there. And there are some offbeat and interesting specializations we also wanted to cover with you today, because we know that we usually, when we speak to students, we talk to them about you can do mechanical engineering or civil or electronics and electrical. What I want to be able to talk about is some of the little more offbeat ones as well, and we'll be covering those. So Swati, if you could assist me with the PPT, because there seems to be, I don't
Yes,
seem to
ma'am.
have controls in front of me. Thank you. All right, I appreciate that. Okay, so as you can see, engineering, and this is something of a kind of like an overview that I'm giving everybody, and it's a sort of revision, if you if so to speak, of what engineering is. Engineering, as you can see, is a humongous field to be a part of, and engineers are solution providers. And with the profiles that we just heard from Chelsea, of course, she's been one of the people who's been, of course, very forefront in being part of industry and having that industry experience. So please have your industry-based questions also in the chat box to be able to ask us. But as you can see, engineering is across functions into so many other areas now than it ever was. So when engineering began, it was primarily as a solution provider. And understanding, the deep understanding of physics helps you be able to understand where the application of that subject goes. Everything around us that we use and that we work with has had some element of engineering involved in it, either in its production or in the actual product itself, or in how it was in the way how efficiently it was being produced, including maybe in some cases the packaging that it came in, or how long it's supposed to look. A lot of those elements have engineering already involved in. So when we look at like the primary areas and the major headings, when we look at engineering, you would of course have mechanical, civil, electrical, electronic, chemical, biology related, and then of course computer science and software. Apologies. We have those different elements there. Computer science and software, of course, has taken off in the last 2 decades massively, and has of course been one of the most sought after areas. But we need to remember that now biology related engineering is also going to be something that's going to come up in a massive way as well. And we'll talk about one of those areas in our presentation today. But from agriculture and food and technology to biotechnology, which has become more popular over the last 2 decades, these are areas where, for lack of a better word, physics, chemistry, and mathematics are meeting biology. So for students in India who are looking at wanting to be able to, let me just try and see, okay, my photograph is, all right, great. Let me just, I'm trying to move that. So I think just move me while I'm speaking. Thank you.
I'll
Move
move
me
it.
to the corner. Yes, up. Move me to the top. I'm getting to move to the top there. Now, mechanical is the only thing covered, so I hope that helps out. Yeah, Alex, I hope we've covered the rest of the lower part of it. All right. So when we're talking about elements related, say biology, like I said, that's going to be something that we're going to keep an eye on as well. And keeping the current situation in the world in mind, we need to be able to remember that one element that's there for when it comes to biology related in terms of say bioinformatics, which is something we'll cover, is going to be an area that is going to be something to look at and be able to keep our eye on as we go forward. May I request that those of you who are sending in a question, again, please send it marked to send to everybody so that the Mindler team that is online can answer those for you. I should have changed the settings earlier, but unfortunately we weren't able to do. I wasn't able to do that prior to this. Please mark your questions, send to everyone, so that we at the Mindler team is able to answer your questions as we go along. So let's look at mechanical engineering, and of course, under mechanical engineering, there is a wide variety of areas that then came out as offshoots. Everything and anything to do with machines has a base in mechanical engineering. That's the core of it. When we're looking at civil engineering, we're looking at elements related to aspects of structural engineering to environmental to something we'll talk about today, which is geotechnical and hydraulics and irrigation as well, which is of course a huge area that comes in when it comes to when it works together with agriculture. So these are the areas that come out with a base or a core from civil engineering. Of course, electrical and electronics, I will defer to the expert who is on our panel to be able to speak about when it comes to electrical engineering. And I definitely don't want to venture into saying that I know too much about it. But everything that we use today, from either the movement of power or to how we harness that power in a cell phone, in a tablet, in a laptop or in a webcam, all of that is electronic engineering and how it is that we're harnessing that large amount of power. So it's an important element for us to be able to remember that at the core of all of these very fancy things that we look at and all of the instruments and all the gadgets that we utilize, all of them have the core of electrical and electronics there. Chemical engineering is across a wider field again and a wider spectrum. From petroleum engineering, which is from getting the actual petrol, your raw oil out of the ground, to then working into converting it into diesel or petrol and the refinement of it, and all of that is all elements related to petroleum. From chemical engineering, we also have the offshoots, interestingly, of textile or metallurgy, as well as mining that come in. So the base or the root of these specializations come in from chemical engineering. I've covered the biology elements, and now, of course, computer science and software, which has taken on in such a huge manner as we've gone forward. The important thing for us to remember is aspects of machine learning and artificial intelligence are going to be present in every single aspect of what work we choose to do. You can choose to be a lawyer, you can choose to be an engineer, you can choose to be a doctor, you can choose to be a content creator, any element, but there will be aspects of artificial intelligence involved. And therefore, it's important for us to remember that when it comes to robotics or artificial intelligence or machine learning or even data science, these are aspects of engineering from computer science and software that all of us need to be able to embrace. We're all going to be utilizing these aspects in some way or the other, and it's important for us to be able to therefore make sure that we are keeping our minds open to learning about these as well. Systematic and very clear courses are still getting built within India. There may be and there are a little bit more in terms of undergraduate level courses or even graduate level courses that have taken place outside of India. But in India as well, we're catching on in a big way when it comes to these areas. All right, great. So we have cross functions that take place there. So yeah, go ahead forward. Thank you. All right. So like I said, that we've got core engineering fields, just to recap. And of course, we have specific engineering fields that end up becoming specialization areas that we can explore. So for you to be able to move into certain specialization areas, it is very important, therefore, to have a very sound understanding of that core field. So engineering courses will be designed to be able to get you the core understanding of a particular field to then be able to move you into a specialized area that you require or that you're interested in getting into. So some of the, I wanted to be able to pick some of the different areas that we could look at. We want to talk to you about a few oddball areas as well that you might not have thought of. And be able to look at that. So let's talk about what we're doing. So say, for example, if you wanted to be able to study, say, like an automobile engineering, you would need to be, of course, have base in mechanical engineering, because most of automobile engineering is at the core of it mechanical engineering. But let's talk about some of the other areas. So one of the more interesting areas that are coming in actually now is something called geotechnical engineering. And geotechnical engineering is from the base of civil engineering. So this is all about being able to understand how is it that we work with elements of structuring buildings, bridges, subterranean structures. So when we look at even say like the metro constructions that have taken place in different cities, a lot of geotechnical engineering took place and needed to be employed to be able to ensure that the structure was sound. that you were able to look at from taking elements like soil and understanding soil components to be able to understand whether that particular site is going to be able to handle a particular structure or a bridge or a tunnel. All of those elements come in and they have become very specified, because now you're doing a much more detailed risk analysis. You're doing a much more detailed analysis of how it is that this is going to be a long-term structure. So understand that geotechnical engineering, as we go forward, also is going to talk about elements that are coming from how the environment is impacting our soil structures, how the environment is coming in and impacting that. So climate change is going to be something that geotechnical engineers are going to also need to be able to keep in mind as they go forward. Right, so that element is something that we want to be able to also talk to you about. So if there is an interest that you have for geotechnical engineering, this would be at from the base of civil and go forward there. So geotechnical engineering will come from the base of civil engineering. So here's where we want to be able to talk to you about a very interesting specialization. Swati, over to you.
Yes. 1 second. I think I'm covering the.
Yes, we need to be able to move it. There we
Okay.
go.
So the next specialization within engineering that we're going to talk about here is aerospace engineering. I see a lot of questions about aerospace as well. Now, aerospace engineering is particularly from the base of mechanical engineering. Whenever we talk about aerospace, we're talking about everything related to planes, everything related to space travel as well. So, particularly job opportunities within ISRO, within, let's say, DRDO, NASA, all the aircraft manufacturing firms like HAL, like Boeing, all of those are your job opportunities. What do you study in this? You particularly study a lot of the base of mechanical, along with a few subjects of, let's say, wing design, aerothermodynamics, subjects like that, hydraulics within the plane. So all of those things are what you study over here. However, for a lot of these organizations, you can start with a base in mechanical engineering and then go ahead and do a specialization in aeronautical engineering. Or else, even if you do, let's say, a bachelor's in aeronautical engineering, a lot of these places require a master's degree as well. One more fun fact over here is that recently the DRDO and ISRO, the labs that they have are now open to private organizations as well. So government has granted them access very recently. So there would be more startups within the aerospace area now. We're expecting more of those to happen in the upcoming years. Moving to the next stream, which is your particularly bioinformatics engineering. Now, bioinformatics is a very, very upcoming area, which is an amalgamation of computer science, biology, and maths and stats. These three together take you to bioinformatics. But it is all about all the genomic data that we gather these days, the sequencing of genes that we are doing, related to stem cell research, related to all the gene therapy treatments that are coming up, particularly storing biological data, analyzing it, using it, applying it to come up with cures for diseases, to come up with different types of new interventions. That is particularly bioinformatics engineering. This is again a specialization area which you can look at either through computer science engineering, or you can look at this through biotechnology, biomedical engineering, or you can also look at this through mathematics or computational mathematics engineering. So those are some of the areas where you can look at, particularly to pursue a career within bioinformatics engineering.
I'm
Moving
seeing a
on,
questions.
yes.
I'm seeing a question that was saying that is physics needed for bioinformatics engineering. Now, if you're coming at bioinformatics from the engineering domain or the computer science domain, Jenna, then yes, you would require the physics there. But if you're coming into bioinformatics after having studied biotechnology or having studied zoology or biology and looked at bioinformatics as a specialization at the master's level, then the physics element would of course be there from your 11th and 12th, because you would have studied that when you studied physics, chemistry, and biology. But in your course material, you wouldn't have had that higher focus on physics. So it really depends on which line you are approaching bioinformatics on. And bioinformatics right now is actually something that's been helping us with being able to understand aspects to how, say, for example, epidemics work, or how is it that how we can make sure that medication or certain areas of disease management can be handled when it comes to things like pandemics. So their bioinformatics has actually started being able to help us because it's the use of algorithms combined with combined with biology to be able to help make that information connected, bring that forward there. Okay, so that those are the elements that you can look at. All right. So we want to look at some really weird offbeat areas as well that you can look at that we want to cover, and I want to be able to answer questions that are coming in for you that are coming in from you as well. So we want to be able to do that. So some of the offbeat areas that we can look at, of course, is let's move forward. So say for example, you have an interest in automobiles, you have an interest in we need to be able to move our heads out of the way. You move me to the corner of motorsports now. Yeah, there we go. I'm sitting in the race car now along with the race car driver. So if you're looking at an element where you are somebody who is interested in mechanical engineering, you're interested in automobile engineering or automotive engineering, one of the offshoot areas that you can of course look at specializing in would be motorsport engineering. And motorsport engineering therefore has its base in electrical electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, and automotive. So these three areas could lead you over to motorsport engineering. So if you are excited about aerodynamics, you're excited about how to make a vehicle faster, stronger, be able to withstand a large amount of speed. If you're able to, if you're interested in being able to look at how performance enhancement can happen when it comes to say race cars or automobiles in general, motorsport can be a very interesting space that you can look at exploring and thinking about and wanting to get into. So there, of course, like I said, now we've got an offbeat and sort of not an area that usually gets spoken about, but now you have the base in something else there. All right. Okay. We recently had a World Chocolate Day. So one of the areas that actually comes up very interesting is chocolate engineering, if you will. Now, of course, the base of this is chemical engineering and mechanical engineering. What do chocolate engineers do specifically? Chocolate engineers ensure that they're designing the tools and molds that are made to make chocolate production effective. So there is a lot of industrial engineering and understanding that has to happen as to how production needs to take place as well. They're working with ensuring that the packaging is done right, so the chocolate stays fresher for a longer period of time. They're ensuring that they're making sure that the production happens in a systematic manner. And so as a chocolate engineer, with your understanding of chemical engineering and mechanical engineering, you would be able to work in the food and confectionery space as well, specifically in food production when it comes to those elements of engineering that would come into play as well. So we wanted to talk to you about a little bit on about that element also. All right, let's move forward. Okay, so one of the interesting areas that you can look at also is pulp and paper industry that employs paper engineers and people who understand how paper production is done, who understand how is it that we make environmentally safe paper, how is it that all the products that we use, whether it's our packaging or our notebooks or anything else, they have elements of paper engineering in them. And so the pulp and paper industry actually employs engineers from mechanical engineering backgrounds, chemical and environmental engineering backgrounds to be able to, and the environmental scientists to be able to ensure that they are building paper products as well as paper at the raw level in terms of the material that we use in our notebooks in the most efficient manner, in the most cost-effective manner, and how is it that this is done in the most environmental and sustainable manner as well. Also, paper engineering is interestingly, after having an understanding of this, getting in inroads into areas like brand management, design, becoming illustrators, or even coming into creating artworks for large spaces. And paper engineers are the ones who actually end up doing that. So if you do origami, then you are at the base level, an amateur paper engineer, ready to be able to explode what kind of areas that you can look at when it comes to spaces with pulp and paper industry going forward. All right. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Swati. Swati, you there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Yes. So, one second. Yeah. So we have a number of entrance exams. If you're looking at India, in India we have JEE Main and Advanced. All of you would be aware about that. Along with that, keeping backups, you can look at BitSat, you can look at MIT, you can look at VIT entrance exam, you can look at SRM, you can look at Comet K. The skills that you would need to crack these entrance exams are all the same: physics, chemistry, mathematics. You would also require analytical reasoning and problem solving. So build your concepts in these areas and you will be able to look at one of these exams. What do you need to do? You need to start with NCRT books. You need to then look at the right reference books for yourself, and then solve multiple mock test papers to attempt the paper well. That is how you go ahead and prepare for all of these entrance exams.
All right.
Moving on,
So
we have, yes.
yeah, let's open it up to our panelists now. So that was us wanting to give you an overview on some of the stuff. And so Swati, it's on over to you now. Okay, and
Right.
you're in charge of this one. So yeah.
Moving on, we have Miss Chelsea from Queen's University. She will take us through, what the university is about, and she will take us through more about education abroad.
Wonderful. Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Excellent. That's great. Shilpa and Swati did an excellent job describing the opportunities in engineering. Are you a person who likes to solve problems using data? Are you curious? Do you want to gain skills in design and managing complex projects and collaborating with colleagues? If so, engineering is likely a great choice for you. I'm an engineer. I've been an engineer for more than 20 years and I love it. One of the things that I love the most about it is that it gives me the most possibility to do any kind of job in the world, whether it's engineering, pure, hardcore, research engineering, or very, very detailed technical engineering, or whether I want to work in business and run things and run projects and become a CEO if I want. As the director of corporate relations, engineering has been incredibly perfect for that role. So I will highlight engineering at Queen's and speak to engineering jobs, industry, and internships. Deepa is also here from Queen's and she can answer your questions in the chat about admissions and how to get into Queen's. So put those questions in the chat. I'll mention that, yes.
Yes, we had a few particular questions for you coming in. So one of the questions that we have are particularly how should the students decide whether to choose a generalized field in engineering or a specific stream within engineering?
That's a great question. So why don't I highlight just a couple of pieces about Queen's so that the students have an idea of it, and then I can answer that question. So
sure.
Queen's is consistently ranked among the top 10 universities in Canada, and it's ranked 5th in medical doctoral universities. It's a member of the prestigious U15 group of Canadian research universities and is a founding member of the Matariki Network. 91% of our students are employed in 6 months after graduation. That's the highest in Canada. And we're located in the eastern part of Canada in Kingston, a university town. It's one of the top 5 university towns in the world. It's beautiful on the lake. The lake is one about 4-minute walk away. It's absolutely gorgeous. So you were asking about how to choose where you go, what you do. And that is one of the reasons why I love engineering at Queen's. And that is that we have choice. So at Queen's, we have a general first year. And some universities have that and then some don't. One of the reasons I like it is that it is interdisciplinary in first year. You get a little taste of all different kinds of engineering. And as Shilpa and Swati were talking about, the foundations of engineering, especially mechanical and the elements that are common to all engineering. You will find that when you go into engineering, especially now compared to when I started engineering 20 years ago, it is very interdisciplinary. It is incredible to know and understand all the people that you work with and all the different engineering disciplines. So to really hone in on what you love to do, it's great to have that choice. Now, if you already know exactly what you want to do, then you can leap right into that as well. So that's a great option. And one of the best things you can do is look out there and see the jobs that people have. Even look at the job descriptions and see what are the kinds of things I could imagine myself doing. But you're in grade 12, or you haven't quite gone into university yet. So I also would encourage you to take some time and think and explore, because you might change your mind as you learn more. You're going to be a good engineer, and you're going to get the data, you're going to problem solve, you're going to iterate and change as you develop, which is really exciting. I'll touch on just a couple other items while I'm here, and that is that the other two elements of engineering at Queen's are that we have a very collaborative student community, and that really helps for you to develop your network and explore with your friends. And you'll find that they have really good insight into your strengths and what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? We have an optional internship program of 12 to 16 months. So the students have a chance to really work on full engineering projects, year-long engineering projects. And again, it's optional. It's all about choice. We're not forcing you to do things that are not right for you. It's about developing those lifelong skills of development, just like you would as an engineer. The other piece that I'll mention about Queen's before we go to the next question is that our alumni are one of the most passionate, dedicated alumni in Canada. They're very known for that. And so our alumni want to hire our students constantly. And that's why I enjoy running the internship and job opportunities at Queen's, because they just come to us.
Right. So one of the things that I would like to ask you is, particularly like you mentioned, the internship. So could you talk a little more about the co-ops or the internship opportunities for the students at the university?
Yes. So at Queen's, it's a year-long internship. It's optional. So what we do is we work with the students closely to develop their skills in how to build their resume, how to get experience. And they might come in with experience or very little. And so what we do is give them experience in class. We have design projects that they start doing with clients right in first year, so that they start to get experience with design if they've never done it before. And we have a lot of fun with it. And then a lot of students at Queen's join clubs or design teams. We have the highest amount of clubs in Canada per capita. And so they also then get experience with design on our concrete toboggan team, or our aerospace design team, or our Hyperloop team, which was one of the finalists in California this year.
Wow.
Right.
So the co-op program actually is amazing that way. It allows a lot of industry exposure, right?
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. Swati, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So talking about particularly one more thing, which one is the most popular specialization that is there at Queen's? This is something that a number of students have also asked us. Which specialization is more popular?
I would say they're all popular. We have 10 different streams, but some of the ones that we have the bigger numbers of students in are mechanical engineering and electrical and computer engineering, and especially the innovation option, where they do business while they're doing engineering as well. And they also can learn some entrepreneurial skills or entrepreneurial skills as well. Another area that students are quite interested in is the applied math and engineering. That's a specialty at Queen's, and students are very strong in that. And again, all of those give a lot of, like Shilpa and was describing, they give so many different options for where you want to go. You might end up working for, a large name like Google or Amazon, but you might end up working for a multinational engineering company doing consulting or technical engineering, or you might end up working for a bank doing finance. It's really up to you what you're passionate about.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Right. So I have just a couple of more questions for you, particularly a little about the one-year common program at the university. I believe there's a common program that you have.
That's right. So at Queen's in Canada, it is a one-year common that all students take, and then when they go into their second year, they are guaranteed the program they want to go into, and that is unique. So usually you often don't get that guarantee. But at Queen's, we want to make sure that students are doing the things they want to do and they love to do. So they are guaranteed whatever program they want to.
Wow.
Right. Thank you. Now, one particular question. How do you think the world will change post-COVID-19 in terms of opportunities for engineers?
Engineers are the best positioned to work on the world post-COVID-19, because what we do is we learn how to solve problems. We learn how to adapt, iterate, and change. We learn. That's what we do every day as engineers. So the world is changing, but the world has always been changing, and engineers are at the forefront of that. And so it seems really different, I think, for a lot of people. But as an engineer, that's what your job is, always, to learn how to adapt and even change the direction you're going in. So you might think you'll be working in one industry, and then maybe that industry has changed dramatically or doesn't exist, and there's a whole new industry. There is no one better prepared to deal with that than engineers and to lead that. One of the things we like to say at Queen's is that curiosity creates. And our focus is on not just following what's happening, but creating the future. As someone who's just coming into university, you can create the future. That is really exciting.
On that note, some of the skills that our students, the audience requires to, work, particularly in Canada, in the engineering field?
Just as Shilpa described, it is engineering is work. You work around a lot of physics, math, analytical skills. If you're really curious, having strong English does help as much as possible, but many of your students already have that, so that is fantastic. One of the things that we work on is we do a lot of teamwork, so being able to communicate and collaborate with people is fantastic as well. Although, again, that's a part of university, is you learn how to do those things. So say you feel like you're maybe not perfect in everything. You don't have to be perfect in everything. You will learn how to get those skills and how to develop through your university experience. That's what it's there for.
Wonderful. Super.
Thank you so much, Ms. Chelsea. Is there anything else that you would like to share about Queen's University?
No, I think that's good. Deepa might have some notes in the chats that she would share.
Right.
I would encourage you to go and explore the websites. You can even see videos of our internship students and see what they have to say, and you can explore and see what fits for you.
Yeah, no, I've been watching the chat box, and I'm seeing a lot of questions that students are asking, and I'm seeing Deepa answering them, so that's wonderful. Yes, so good job, Deepa, on keeping up with the questions. All right, thank you so much. That was wonderful information for you to have shared with us. Swati, go back.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Chelsea. Now we move to Ms. Nilanjana, who will tell us more about Ireland and university, particularly her university, Trinity College. Ms. Nilanjana?
Yes, your mic is a little bit garbled.
it better now?
Much, 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 much. Yes.
Okay, great. Now I have the presentation on.
We
Yes,
need
sure.
her presentation.
In the meantime, I just wanted to welcome everyone and good evening, everyone. I'm Nilanjana Shin, Senior Recruitment Advisor for Trinity College Dublin. And I'm, of course, delighted to be here. It has been a very informative session for me personally as well. And I'm grateful to Mindler for giving me this opportunity. Um, so, at the risk of sounding repetitive, I would like to start by saying what we all know already so well, that the current situation with COVID-19 is absolutely unprecedented. But it has brought one thing, one learning that it has brought is that something which will apply equally to everyone, but particularly to students and professionals, and that is to expect and be as prepared as possible for the unexpected. And the best way to do is through innovation and through research. Actually, these attributes are inherent to our way of education, be it teaching or be it learning. So, on that note, I'll start my presentation. Okay, but before telling you about Trinity, I will provide a brief overview of what Ireland as a country and Dublin as a city offer to international students. As the slide tells you, Ireland is a small country both in size and population, but it is one with a very long tradition in education excellence, as well as offering an innovative and creative culture which is so inherent to being an engineer. It is among the top 15 safest countries in the world, and with Brexit, it is now the only English speaking country in the European Union. It offers a 1 year stay back or a job search visa for students who complete a bachelor degree at an Irish institution. I think there is some issue with the way the slide is appearing.
I'll run the slides for you. Don't worry.
Can you move on to the next one, please? Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, we were able to see the whole slide, though. Don't worry, Nilanjana, we're able to see the whole slide.
All right, perfect. So this slide gives you an insight about the economic climate in Ireland, which is very important to know because from the student's point of view, this will tell you what are the kind of opportunities that might be available to you post your study, as well as while you are studying in terms of internships, in terms of industry interface. So Ireland is the fastest growing economy in Europe, and this is due to the presence of over 1,200 leading global companies that have substantial operations in Ireland. A majority of them have their European headquarters here. And the key sectors are ICT, financial services, medical tech, and biopharma. So it is the second largest exporter of IT and computer services, and global giants like Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Twitter, Intel, HP, Accenture, they all have their European headquarters here, while Dublin is Europe's hub for the top gaming companies like EA, like Big Fish, PopCap, Zynga, Jolt, Havoc, Riot Games, and several more. Neck to neck with ICT is the financial services sector, which is led by more than 250 global firms, including half of world's top 50 banks. It is also the top European country for international pharmaceutical investment, and this is due to the presence of over 300 leading biotech, pharma, and biopharma companies such as Johnson & Johnson, GlaxoSmithKline, Novartis, Abbott, Bayer, and several more. It is also the producer of 6 out of the 10 top selling drugs in the world. And the fourth major sector is medical technology, which has evolved into a global leader for medical device and diagnostic products with annual exports exceeding 12 billion euros. We have over 450 companies involved in developing, manufacturing, and marketing medical devices. And these include Boston Scientific, Guidant, Medtronic, Stryker. So what it tells you as students is that this sector, particularly medical tech, is the second largest employer in Europe. And then that what this means is that there are substantial employment opportunities for science and engineering graduates. Moving now to Ireland's capital city, Dublin, which is a young, friendly, cosmopolitan city. It is one of the best student cities in the world, offering a safe and stimulating experience as a UNESCO City of Literature, while also being a global tech hub. Next one, please. Could you change the slide?
Nilanjana, your mic, I think, is moving against something, so we're getting a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Moving now to Trinity, it is one of the 7 ancient universities of the world, along with Oxford and Cambridge. And all these 7 universities are more than 400 years old. What this means for our students is that they are educated at an institution which has centuries of experience of designing education and delivering education. Our School of Engineering is also one of the oldest in the world. It is over 178 years old. Next slide, please. This is an aerial view of our 47-acre campus right in the heart of the city center. Next one. And this slide gives you a snapshot of our campuses located in the Global Innovation Hub and surrounded by numerous corporate giants. Next one. Trinity has actively built on its tradition of academic excellence, and in our 428th year, we are ranked 101st in the world. Next one, please. Just some quick facts here. We are the only Irish university to be part of the prestigious LERU, that is the League of European Research Universities, and we are ranked 92nd in the world for employability for our graduates, while being the most entrepreneurial university in Europe for the 5th consecutive year. Trinity is a medium-sized university with about...
Nilanjana, you're not audible.
Nilanjana, your mic has moved. Your mic has moved again. If you could just hold your mic up closer to your mouth, it might be easier. So you might need to lift your mic up. I think it's either rubbing against something or we're not being able to get it. So just say something now.
So is it better now?
No, you'll have to move it. You'll have to move your mic again.
Better now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay. So it's a medium-sized university, and our international student community is led by American students, followed by the Indian students. Next one, please.
You're still a little bit muted.
Better now?
Yeah. No, again, say something again.
Yes, is it fine now? Because I've not moved the mic at all.
No, because we're not getting enough. Yeah, we're not being able to hear you at all. It sounds as though your mic's gotten covered by something.
Yes, it's very blurry.
Is it better now?
Much. Yes. Now keep it wherever it is now. That is perfect. Yes.
Okay. So this slide tells you we offer 4-year honors degree in almost all disciplines. And there are 2 subject areas, engineering and computer science, in which we offer 5 years integrated professional degrees. Next one, please. Our program schedules are a mix of timetabled and independent learning, which is very similar to the US system. And for programs like computer science and engineering, the schedules are 75% timetabled and 25% based on independent study. The most important element of our programs is that every student will have the opportunity to do a capstone project as part of their undergraduate degree, and these projects are linked directly to a real research project. Before going further, I just want to touch upon a new and extremely ambitious initiative at Trinity called the E3, which stands for Engineering, Environment, and Emerging Technologies. Next one, please. This is a multi-million euros initiative, which is the first of its kind in the history of Ireland, and it aims to revolutionize education by integrating engineering technology and scientific expertise in order to efficiently address some of the grand challenges that the world faces. And as you can see, state-of-the-art world-class learning facilities, innovative research, and industry collaborations are the key drivers of E3, and particularly we have dedicated scholarships which are available for all 4 years for all engineering programs. Moving now to our engineering programs, the first 2 years are common entry, which means that all students follow a common curriculum of basic courses. They may then choose from a number of modules to the 3rd and 4th year of the program, and these modules are grouped in such a way as to permit students to specialize in one of the 6 streams that you can see here, which are the 6 streams of the engineering profession. Students also decide in the second year whether they would want a 4-year route, which is a fully taught program, or they can decide upon a 5-year integrated master's, in which case there is a 6-month paid internship component in the second half of the 4th year. Next one, please. These are some examples of how our programs are designed. These are the engineering course modules for year 1. Next one. Year 2 is like this. So we have some core modules which you have to complete over years 1 and 2, and some optional modules that you can choose from. And then year 3 and 4 are all about your specialization. Next one. This is an interdisciplinary program that we offer, which is engineering with management. It is a specialized course right from year 1, unlike the other engineering programs. And this is essentially for those students who wish to move up the rung of management with an engineering degree, like Chelsea was mentioning a while back. So it is similar to that. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the core components of the courses in the 4th year is the 4th year project, which accounts for 1/3 of the overall end of grade. And these are some examples of the kind of research projects that the students do. And these research projects are indeed what determines the kind of industry that you are going to work in. Because your prospective employers are not going to be interested in your written exams and how much you have scored, but they will be looking at the area or the topic of research, because this is your own independent research project. And this project also allows our students to progress directly onto the funded research positions as well. Next one, please. These are just some examples of the research projects that the students do. And this slide tells you about where our graduates go. As you can see, a vast majority are directly into industry employment, and the kind of employers range from Abbott to Accenture to Mercedes to Rolls-Royce. There's a very small proportion who go into further study, and a minuscule one which are still waiting for employment. This is Trinity's research ecosystem. We have our own centers of research excellence. And as you can see, we also host the national research centers at Trinity, and most of them are related to engineering, like Connect, like Adapt, as well as Learnovate. We have over 300 collaborations across the world with top universities, where students can do, they can choose to do an internship, they can choose to do a small semester or a full 3rd year at one of these partners. And these would be universities across the world, be it US, Canada, Australia, across Europe. And academic rigor and a transformative student experience are the 2 key pillars of Trinity education. We offer a vibrant student community, state-of-the-art sports facilities, as well as theaters, galleries, museums, all on campus. I've already mentioned about the Indian student community, which is the 2nd largest in terms of strength, and Indian society is one of the most influential one. A snapshot of your career journey. The first 2 years are essentially for you to expand your horizons, network, and make friends for life, and that is why they do not contribute to the bachelor degree mark. The 3rd year is all about learning outcomes, and 4th year completely focused on your career outcomes. Our career services is an award-winning service which assists you with over 200 workshops across the year. And the last point on this slide, the Trinity graduates are the most highly paid and most highly sought after in Ireland. Next one. Our entry requirements generally are 80% overall, and for engineering and computer science, maths in class 12th is mandatory with a minimum of 75% or equivalent. We also need an English language test result. Next one, please. This is how you apply. We have one intake in September, and the applications open on 1st October of the previous year. All applications are online. You go on to the course page on the website, and there is an apply link which will lead you to the portal where you can complete the online form. We need your predicted grades, your personal statement, 2 LORs, and the English language test result. We give out conditional offers on the basis of your predicted grades and LORs. Your final results and English language test can come later. These are the annual fee, about 26,000 euros. It's a 4-year program or a 5-year program. And the estimated living cost is about 13,000 euros. We have some partial scholarships, which are one-off scholarships of 5,000 euros, which are global excellence scholarships. And go on to the next one. But for engineering students, we have the E3 scholarships, which is an award of 4,000 to 5,000 for each year of your program. Whether you do a 4-year program or a 5-year, it will be available to you. And just the last slide about Ireland's response to COVID-19, and it has been ranked 6th globally in terms of being the best response to the COVID pandemic through innovative solutions. And Dublin has been ranked 13th globally for its response to COVID. And Ireland has demonstrated its commitment to international students by offering an emergency payment of 350 euros every week, as well as free access to healthcare. That is it from my end. Any questions that I can assist you with?
We have a few questions, ma'am.
Sure.
So particularly some questions such as what is the eligibility criteria for engineering at the university?
Yes, so like I said, we only look at maths as a subject-specific requirement, which should be minimum 75% or equivalent if it is another curriculum like IB or A levels. And overall, we look at an aggregate of 80% in class 12. We only look at class 12 results.
Right. What is particularly the criteria for biomedical engineering? What are the career outcomes and the criteria for the students who are looking towards biomedical?
See, biomedical engineering is one of the most prestigious programs, and it has specific application in Ireland because of the kind of corporates that are available. And this program allows a range of opportunities, particularly because Ireland is the manufacturer and leading manufacturer and exporter of the key devices like knee implants, like pacemakers and ventilators. So biomedical engineering is the fastest growing career, and this trend is expected to continue over the next decade. Ireland's medical technology sector has a strong demand for high quality graduates at the master's as well as the PhD because of the high technical level of their products. So, but we, as a university, we do not have any specific requirements for biomedical engineering. It would be the same because the first 2 years are common entry. They will be learning about biomedical engineering along with the other specializations and make an informed decision at the end of the second year. At the outset,
Right.
there is no specific entry requirement for biomedical engineering.
Right. So Kunal has asked us that what are particularly the opportunities in Ireland now that it's emerging as a tech hub? I believe that there are a lot of emerging opportunities. Could you help us with respect to that?
Sure. So Ireland has been the fastest growing economy, and because it has a small indigenous population, they are very keen to retain the talented graduates. And for those reasons, I have already given an overview of the kind of industries that have a very significant presence in Ireland. But yes, ICT is very high in demand because they are facing a shortage, and there is a large gap between demand and supply, as well as biomedical engineers, as well as electronic engineers. So engineering is one area which is very high in demand in Ireland, generally, irrespective of the stream that they choose. And it is also one which promises the highest growth in terms of the starting salaries and the jump in the salaries that they get.
Right. So particularly based on the different streams that you talked about. So what is your take on how students should choose a specialization?
See, what we would encourage is through the structure of our programs. So the first 2 years are common so that the students see, basically the take is that engineering is not a school level subject. Students may have various ideas in their heads, but when they actually get down to study that subject, they may think that, okay, this is not meant for me. So for those reasons, we have those full 2 years to get them a flavor of all the various aspects or the specializations that we offer, so students can pick and choose in terms of their elective modules. So the first 2 years are all about the fundamentals so that they know what engineering actually means. And then they choose, and we will aim to give them whatever specialization they want to choose. So I think the structure of the program is
Right.
unique to make sure that the students get what they want, and because ultimately that is what they are going to spend their whole life doing. So you should really be passionate about engineering.
Right. There was a question about whether SAT is required for admission into Trinity.
No, we do not require SAT. The only external exam we require is the English proficiency exam. Other than that, all decisions are on the basis of class 12th results only.
Okay. Just a couple of quick questions, Ms. Nilanjana. So, particularly, you talked about the engineering with management program. How is it difficult from the typical engineering program that you offer?
So see, the typical engineering program, the structure itself is very different. It has 2 common years, and then the students choose their specialization. Whereas engineering with management is a specialized program right from year one onwards. So they will have dedicated modules that they follow, and they will be graduating with equal skills. It could be a joint honors, or they could choose to have one as major and one as minor. Engineering could be major and management could be minor. But it is a specialized program right from the start. They do not get to those 2 years like they get in the common entry engineering program. So
Right.
essentially, it is for those who wish to progress onto the management sphere in engineering, and they want to do it fast.
Okay. And given the COVID situation, how does the university plan on continuing the education and the admission process for 2021?
So for 2021, we are expecting to get things back on track. As it is for Ireland, it had decided on a 5-phase lifting of the lockdown, but they have bypassed that given that things have normalized sooner than they expected. So everything has opened with effect from 29th of June. And in 2021, we expect things to be as usual, just as business as usual. But for 2020, we are going with a hybrid model for the first semester only, and we are not going completely online because face-to-face interaction between the students and the lecturers is very important element of Trinity education. So they will be starting online, but they will be moving on to face-to-face very quickly, and second semester is going to be a typical one.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Nilanjana. At the same time, I have the same question for Ms. Chelsea as well. Ms. Chelsea, are you here with us? Okay. Ms. Chelsea, are you here?
It may be a
I
connectivity
don't
issue.
think so. Yeah, maybe a connectivity issue. Yes.
Oh, there she is.
Yes.
My apologies. I lost my screen.
There you are.
No problem. So I have.
Can you repeat that
Yes.
again?
I have the same question for you as well. How are you planning to continue education and the admission process, particularly the education with respect to 2021 batch?
The online education?
Yes. How are you planning to go about it?
Yeah, so Queen's is still developing the processes around that. Our plan right now is that for the most part, it will be online and for the fall semester. And then they will be exploring what options are available moving forward into the winter semester. Deepa can also answer more questions about the details around that in the chat, and you can also contact Queen's to find out more information about that.
Right. For all of you, we suggest that you actually go to the website, you actually read at the website, and if we can share your email ID, Ms. Chelsea, your email ID or Ms. Deepa's email ID, whichever one's possible. Ms. Deepa, if you can type that out, that will be brilliant for the students for you to for them to contact you. At the same time, we can also share Ms. Nilanjana's email ID, so you can contact her as well. And you have hello@mindler.com for all your queries. Right. Shilpa ma'am, anything else that you would like to add?
No, thank you both, Chelsea, as well as Nilanjana, as just such wonderful presentations to help students understand what can happen. Both really amazing institutions, and I think students should take time to explore what is it that they can do at both the places and see what makes the most sense for them. And the opportunities are great. I'm really glad to be able to see that there is such a great level of interdisciplinary kind of elements that are happening there, where the multidisciplinary education is becoming far more prevalent now, and I think that's wonderful to be able to have that opportunity. So students, it's important for you to be able to remember that start focusing on the basics when it comes to your physics, chemistry, mathematics. Whether you're looking at India or you're looking outside of India, knowledge of science as well as mathematics is going to be important for you. And to remember that, like Chelsea said, that they're providing solutions and they're finding engineers everywhere where we can do that. As you saw today, you can work in the chocolate industry as well. I was quite excited when I saw that, and I thought that's a really cool job to have. So engineering is everywhere, and that's where the solutions come from to a large extent. And along with the humanities and the arts, it makes the world go round. So I hope that you're able to find what is it that you're interested in and explore both these places. For any other doubts or questions, please mail us at hello@mylearn.com. And in case you missed out on something that either of the two people said, either Nilanjana said or Chelsea said, please mail us. We'll be happy to connect them with get you connected with them as well, and pass on email IDs and get you guys connected in case you missed out. And so feel free, please, to mail us on that. Go through the Mindler website. There is also the team has been putting down blogs and articles for you to go through. There is a lot more to see on the website. So go to mindler.com and have a look at the blogs and the website and the articles as well. That will also give you a lot more data and information that you can follow on with and learn from. All right. So feel free to do that as well and explore the website, get you more information. Great. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you, Shiva.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Chelsea. Thank you, Ms. Nilanjana. Thank you all three of you for your time. Thank you to all the audience members who were attending the session and who were asking questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care. Everybody stay safe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Chelsea. Bye-bye.